Jim. He's dead.
Hello and welcome to Improv Autopsy. I'm your host, Stephen Cadwell. This is part 2 of my interview with SAC Comedy Lab's Dave Russell. Check out the links below for more info on Dave or myself, and if you're enjoying the podcast, tell your friends and leave a review wherever you're listening. Before you do any of that, though, enjoy part 2 of Dave Russell's Improv Autopsy. I'm assuming that the SAC credo or value statement, whatever it is, the truth, excellence, joy.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That came from you, I presume.
Yep, I was the only one. Yep, that was all me.
And
no, that wasn't. I'm sorry. I didn't think you'd buy into that so quickly. The mission statement was created by a lot of the SAC founders. It was about that time. But the mission statement was, at that time, to build an audience, people who want joy, that's how we would describe them, by playing together. And I think that has lived on and lived through. Obviously, we want to build a show, an audience. We want to build that. We don't just pop in and there's the audience there. We got to build it a little bit. But we describe them, if you want joy, come be a part of our audience. And not only that, we're going to create it with you. We're going to play together to create this. So that's the mission statement of SAC, to build an audience, people who want joy by playing together. And then the value words we ascribe to are truth, excellence, and joy. Those are the things that are very important to us. We want it to be excellent. You know, we don't hit that all the time, but we're always striving to be excellent, and we're always striving for the joy in the moment, even when their joy is lacking or joy is missing. We always want to come back to that. That's the place we want to come back to and live. And we live in truth. We want it to be real, want it to be vulnerable, want it to be correct, and want it to be right.
yeah, and I'm not a prognosticator, but I would say that one of the reasons that SAC is still around is despite all of the financial considerations that have to be there because SAC is a business, that truth, excellence, joy, and that mission really do show in the product and is what keeps audiences coming back, even post-pandemic and through pandemic. And the reason that SAC still exists is because the ship that you built holds what you wanted it to hold.
They're very kind. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, we get a lot of people who just come back to SAC because I just love the feel of it there and the feel of the people there. And we have our challenges with that sometimes, just like any family or any group. But generally, overall, I think that there is a lot of joy in that space, and there's a lot of fun and joy and openness. It's like, come be with us. We want to be with you, and you share in it. Put something out there. I want to experience you as much as I want you to experience me.
Yeah. This is just a random question. I don't know if I've ever asked you. I think I, ages ago, may have asked John, but so you go to I.O., they have a textbook, right? You're supposed to buy Truth and Comedy.
Yeah.
I didn't take classes at Annoyance, so I don't know if you're supposed to buy Mick Napier's book for that one or not. But you and John have never actually written a book to try to get the SAC style sort of codified or on paper. Is that in your future?
I have written a book
or
two, and one of them is really kind of on the topic of getting ahead in your life, living up to your potential, finding your potential, and moving forward. But it's the same improv basics. I call it the quantum vision, and it's like having the vision for your life and always moving forward towards that. Always saying yes, kind of move forward. We always want to move forward. I like that forward momentum. But I also have another book that I wrote, and I think it's even available on Amazon, but I share it with people. And it started as several blog posts, but it's a method of thinking of improvisation that I think can help people to build scenes and songs and stories, long form or short form. But I'd absolutely I want to write that book. And of course, I've got 3 different iterations of books started, but nothing has unfolded yet. But I would absolutely, because I have some unique perspectives, some unique philosophies and strategies that I like to share. And then I also think that however many books you can get, it's like Truth and Comedy, get it, read it, absolutely, by all means. And all those, a lot of books, David Rosowski's book, it's like get it and read it and put that in your hopper. I don't think any one improv author is going to give you the be-all, end-all, unequivocal version of improv. It's a process, and there are a lot of things that happen with it. I tend to have my idiosyncrasies about it. I tend to have the things that I think would train one up well, and the things that I think one should be aware of, nervous about, and try to minimize maybe. And then there are other things that I think you should try to maximize. I've got those as well, and those are good. Those are good in your playbook. Try a lot of different things. See a lot of those things. So yes, more books will be in the works.
Okay, good. And so I know the one's Quantum Improv.
Yeah.
What's the other?
The other one, it's actually called the RV method. And it's basically looking at building a scene or a story. Like we start off with reveal, and that's the setup of it. I think people get into the fighting too fast. So spend a good amount of time on the reveal. So that's one RV. And then revolt. At some point, we got to have something that twists that story around. And now we're into the act 2 of our story. But you got to build some stuff up. So first reveal. And then we're going to spin that on its head. Revolt. Then we're getting towards the end. We want to find the end ending, and I use the word revisit, RV, revisit, because there's probably something, if you've done your job of setting stuff up in the beginning, there's probably something that you laid out, an egg you laid there, that you can now come back to and actually can be a great and wonderful part of ending your story. And then the last, of course, is resolve, although the V is very much at the end of that word. You got to wrap it up at the end. That is like there's 4 steps, and it really goes along with the same strategy as building a story like a screenplay. There's the act 1, and then there's the act 2, and then the act 2. That almost takes 50% of the movie or film or even more. And then the final one is the wrap up or the resolution. It all goes to be like that. So it's just a way of getting through your stories. And I think that revealing the revelation is the most important one. So you got to reveal, and then at some point, revolt, kind of spin it around, turn it on its head, work your way through all the complications and victories and things. And then now revisit, find something at the end. You'll see that happen in movies all the time. A great example is in Aliens. Remember that first scene where Ripley is in that big mechanical monster thing?
Yeah.
They were showing us that because they revealed that in the beginning, and then we never saw that again until the very end.
Yeah.
When it's time to fight the monster, the doors open up and, oh, yes, we revisit that thing. That's going to help her win the climactic moment there, but we seeded it in the beginning. Now, we don't have the luxury of seeding something. Usually in movies, they'll know, I want to do this at the end, so therefore I got to seed it in the beginning. And we don't know what we're going to do at the end. So we just seed some things, and then when we get to the end, an improviser goes, there must be something that I seeded that I can use for this. And so it's sort of a reverse writing of that. And then, of course, you got to just wrap it up. That's the resolve at the end. Anyway, I just would love to get the word out there for people. This is another angle, another way to look at the way you work at improv.
Yeah, and if you do end up writing the SAC method, or
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a great title,
Yeah.
something like that, you could force students to buy it for one thing, but I would buy it
Yeah,
voluntarily.
there you go. Yeah, I like that.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit. I have some Proustian questions. So it's a behind the actor studio type of questions that I tried to make for improv
Okay.
or remake for improv. So your answers can be as long or as short as you like. And
Okay.
yeah, we can just go from there.
Okay.
If you're game.
I'm a game.
Okay.
Oh, I just did my Italian accent, or I spoke non-grammatically correct. I don't know which one.
Or both.
Or both.
Dave, how do you get into the proper headspace to play?
Well, I like to just kind of run in my head, almost like running in place. I love to do simple things. I love zip, zap, zop. If I can get a group to do zip, zap, zop with me, I'll do that. That gets me going, gets me running. Something you learn your first week, but I still do it. I love doing that. Also, really try to put the day's worth of things out of my head. It's really tough sometimes, but just go on. You got to muster it up and get out there. Come on. You got one more scene. Get up there, get out there. But I like to just do some warm-up-y kind of thing.
Now, I've talked to a couple other people who've been in charge of theaters.
Yeah.
Did you find that harder once you were sort of responsible for everything versus when you were just a player? Did it change at all what you needed to do to get the day's stuff out of your head?
It didn't change for me. It was harder. It's harder to perform with people when you're their boss.
Yeah.
Because they're always judging not only how you're doing your improv and who do you think you are, but also how you're running your business. It's like, what the hell are you doing? That's a tough thing. It's tough to separate that because, again, I'm a performer at heart. I'm one of you. No, you're not. You're one of them. So that's a little bit hard running a business. But in terms of, there was a lot of stuff that was fun. You run the business and then get on stage. That was really cool. And we know that's what we're doing. That's what we're building. We're cooking it and then we're eating it.
Yeah.
We're getting it all ready and then we're performing it. The joy is in the eating of what you cooked, and the joy is in performing what we built through the day and what we've rehearsed.
Yeah. All right, Dave, what is your favorite get for?
Oh, I love a room in the house. And when they say bathroom, don't you love that? I don't have a favorite get for. I really enjoy finding some different and unique ways of posing a suggestion. Again, that doesn't take too long. So I like to think of different things. I like to change it up. One of my favorites is we do a crime endowment. And in a crime endowment, I just love the patter of it. But to get someone's initials as my accomplice. What are your initials? Your initials are SK. Okay, great. Now feed me who's an accomplice that I can have from history, sports, medicine, politics, rock and roll that shares these initials SK. I love that way of getting something because you connect with someone and then, oh, hey, you know what? My accomplice actually shares your initials. So who's that? I like things like that where there's a little bit of a fun game and a connect with someone to do those as well.
Yeah, and then you can avoid some of the ones you get all the time, or any pre-planted idea people came with. They won't shout bowling if you're giving them the initial D.
Exactly, yeah. And also, it's like, give me someone famous. Britney Spears, you'll get whatever it is. You'll get it all the time. Taylor Swift, you'll get that all the time. But this is a way to get them to go just one step deeper, and it's still going to be fun, and it's got to connect. You know, I come from the days of what's a vocation? Proctologist, the old classic starting of improv, people getting those. Bathroom, we want to get away from you being funny in those so we can have an adventure. Now, when they first did it, a scene in a bathroom could be great, but now people are just saying that just because it's the thing to say. Rhyme the word orange. They know there's a gag in their part. And it's like, I don't want there to be a gag in your part. We want to find something that's a genuine get for, a genuine ask for, that we can ask that maybe makes you consider and imagine a little bit. I just don't like the ones, where's the place you go on vacation? Disney World. I need a location. Disney World. I'm tired of Disney World. I want to move you beyond that. So I'm going to try to craft something that will get you maybe not to think of the first automatic thing, but maybe the second thing. So it's still creative for you. You get some creative agency in this, but it also doesn't give me the one I get 100 times out of 100.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, then my next question is, what is your least favorite suggestion?
I think I said them, the room in the house. I like a room in the house because I want it to take place in a room, but if I say room in the house, you're going to say bathroom. You know, someone's going to say bathroom. So I don't favor those. I'm open to any suggestion. I try to move away from any place where a transaction can happen.
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is because I know the danger of a transaction scene and how easy it is to get into a transaction or a competition where I'm just going against what you say. It's like it's always going to be that negotiation or transaction if I'm in a store or if I'm getting a sports one, we're going to be playing the sport. I like to get away from those things because I just think they're traps that get me. They sink me too quickly.
Yeah. One of my favorite chapters in Improv for Storytellers, I think, which is John Stone.
Yeah.
And when he talks about suggestions and we should be getting something that inspires us.
Yeah.
That's the purpose, not just anything. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because his example was that after a show at one point, someone said, how much do you pay those people to shout those things?
Right. They think it's all rigged anyway.
Yeah. But I'm definitely a proponent of getting suggestions because I think it's utilizing the audience. It's bringing them in, keeping them engaged.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of that. But I understand his point too, that, it doesn't really need to happen for us to do our thing.
And I agree. Yes, it's just one more connection. And it also helps me because you give me something that prompts me quickly. Just like the ding in Shoulda Said. That's the prompt that now I got to change gears. So it's something I get immediately and respond to right away. That's good. I like that. I like to take the first thing you hear, but not every time, because sometimes they're not appropriate. But I want to make sure I've got that mixed into my repertoire of you should just take what they give you and go with it. You shouldn't shop around for 5 or 6 suggestions to get the one you want. But I don't mind that either. For improv, I'm like, never say never to anything. There's not one overarching rule, even the rule of say yes all the time, except when you don't. But I believe that your best bet, your best friend, is to say yes most of the time. But now for saying yes all the time, we want to change that up too. We want to flip that around. And so we say no to them. So we actually have a scene for that. We have the justification scene where your job is to say no and block and avoid, negate everything that I set up. That's the fun of that one. So we want to tip it on its head and do that as well. But I think I heard somebody mention before, I think it might have been Richard, that I don't mind if you block something, if you got something of substance behind it, that you're offering something to the scene. But what I come against is that nature of just blocking just because you don't go forward with it, or it's not your idea or whatever, or you don't know or you're scared. It's like, don't get into all that. Just say something. Let's move it. Let's move it along.
Yeah.
And go along with it. Just take it in and take it on. You can't judge that it's not going to work well. You never know that. And part of the joy in the journey that we're on is to unfold something. Even if it's not great right away, just take it in, take it on, and we'll see it unfold. We'll see it build for the both of us.
Yeah. I was going to say, you reminded me, I don't know if I said this earlier, that as far as It's Tuesday goes, that made it into the playbook. So you had to have met with success with that later, right?
No. There's plenty of things in the playbook that no one should ever play ever again. I mean, there are things in there that this is a compilation of everything we know and we've heard about. You want to try it? You try. It's Tuesday in its pure form, I think, is a great thing to do. And I've done It's Tuesday in its correct form. Unfortunately, Matt wasn't in that scene, but he would have forgiven me. Here's an example. There's a scene in our book called Feet of Hen, and it was developed by crazy SAC people that I know other people do Feet of Hen now. It's like, why are you doing Feet of Hen? But Feet of Hen, it's like, okay, let's do a scene. In fact, it's going to be a serious scene. But the thing is that all the people in the scene, you have to walk around like you're a hen, a chicken. That's it, whatever that means to you. And it's called Feet of Hen. You're walking around as chicken people, and you do the scene. And what? What the hell? What the hell? It's like, I don't know. We just put a wacky thing on it, and now it's a thing in the playbook that other people say, oh, let's do feet of hen. I love feet of hen. Nobody loves feet of hen, but it's just an example of we look to create, because we're always trying to put the next layer of challenge on it, and especially challenges that are almost in opposite. So a serious scene, but we're walking like squawking chicken people, and have fun with that. Make it work. That's the thing that I wish more improvisers understood. I have a pet peeve of improvisers that say, I'm confused. Or it's like, that doesn't make any sense, or you're crazy. And again, you can do that sometimes, but I don't like that that's your go-to. Actually, your job is to take these disparate things. We know they don't really mesh. Your job is to craft a universe, craft a way that it does make sense. That's your magic.
Yeah.
That's you performing your magic trick. That's a beautiful skill. Look how you reweaved that around and made it work. That's a thing of beauty. That's what the improviser's job is, not to negate things because it doesn't make sense to you.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never find the gems. They all might not all pan out to be a gold nugget, but many of them will.
Yeah. My feeling for a long time, I don't know when this idea first came into my head, but is that the reason that we put the games on there and that is because we're so good at this art form that we need a challenge. And the game is the challenge for us to make it more difficult, to make it interesting for us and challenging. And to speak to that same sort of thing, when we were in Chicago, and this is based or inspired, I think, partially by Guerrilla Theater when we were in Guerrilla Theater.
Yeah.
But Kayla and I developed a show that we call Improv Sabotage, and it's ostensibly it's just you're going to perform this scene. We'll get a suggestion. It'll be a theme, so the theme will be love. So it'll be, okay, this is a scene about getting to know someone or whatever, first date or whatever, and then but unbeknownst to the quote-unquote judge, we'll have sabotaged the scene by saying to that person, okay, you can never look at each other, and there's other kind of sabotages that we'll put in there. And we saw just some of our friends in Chicago do absolutely amazing things with these hurdles that we gave them, because they were things that we couldn't even comprehend or would never have thought of, because they had this extra little thing that was thrown onto their scene that they had to work around, and some of them were just phenomenal.
And as an audience member, and even as a co-performer, I don't want to see you give up on the challenge, on the hurdle. I want to see you do your best. You might fall on the hurdle. Well, that's part of the excitement of this live thing we're watching. But when you get over the hurdle, it's like, yes, you just feel such a sense of euphoria to watch somebody win like that. And that's what I wish more improvisers were hip to do. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on your partner. You haven't even started and you're already in contention with your partner. Just on the first thing they said, you've built up nothing and you've got, I'm trying to bring conflict in. Number one, conflict doesn't have to be bickering with each other or being in contention with. And also, you got to set something up before you tear it down.
Yeah.
And I don't mean I'm building a sandcastle. Okay, I'm going to tear it down. It's like, that's too soon. Too soon to tear the sandcastle down. You just ruined everything that was set up. So be smart. Think that through a little bit and just go on the journey a little bit more. And I believe you'll have much more fodder once you do that for all the kind of contention you want to build later.
Yeah. Dave, how would you describe your onstage persona if you have one? Is it different? Is onstage Dave different than real life Dave?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. My onstage persona is wild, uninhibited, and quirky, goofy, self-deprecating to a large degree. I mean, I have been known to, it's okay for me if you got to take your shirt off in a scene. It's okay for me if you got to take your pants off in a scene. I haven't gone totally naked in a scene, although once inside a box, yes, I was totally naked. And it's like, what are the opportunities here? In one of our stages, we had a suspended ceiling above. There was like grid work above the ceiling, metal grid work. And so I was always look for opportunities. How can I get up in there? How can that happen? How can I get, so I like the mischief of it. How can I get myself in mischief and then have to get myself out? I loved all kinds of quirky things in our shows. For a show, we had the ability, because of one of the specialty shows we did, to hook a phone up. So I can talk to somebody on the phone and it'll come through the house system. So we can hear both sides. It's a lot easier to do now with iPhones, but this is before that. But even with, we take an iPhone and somehow it gets set up that this scene has to happen and has to be completed in the amount of time it takes Dave to run down to the Haagen-Dazs and get an ice cream cone and come back. Dave, take this phone so you can chronicle your journey so we can know when you're coming back so we know we can wrap up the scene. Again, great opportunity. So we get down there and through the course of it, I don't remember all but I stopped somewhere. I was outside. I did get the Haagen-Dazs ice cream eventually, but I just took the opportunity to, as I was talking with them, somebody coming up and scuffling with me and taking me and basically beating me up and taking my phone. I come back into the theater with a roughed up face, and I might have even torn my shirt, and no phone, with my Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I want to play that moment. What can we do with this? What's fun? So I'm known to do that. Just what's a wacky thing we can do? I did one show once where there was this was not our stage, but there was a balcony above the stage, and in the first scene, I played like a Grecian heralder or something from up there, and I said something, and as if somebody was throwing a curse on me to turn me to stone, and zook. And so I did. I just turned to stone there up on the balcony. And then the scene was done, and I stayed as a stone statue on the balcony. And I remained a stone statue on the balcony for the entire show. Because again, it's like, I'm going to take this opportunity. I love it. We would do this thing called statue at the Renaissance festivals where it's like stay still for a very long time. So that's what I did. I played statue now for the whole show. I wasn't in that show at all, but I was in that show the entire time. We'll do that. That's this show. There was one, you might have heard about this, where I didn't plan this, but I went along with it, where I got duct taped to the back wall with about 2 rolls of duct tape worth of duct tape. So I was suspended up on the wall and duct taped to it. But luckily, they didn't tape my mouth, so I could still talk. And again, same thing. I just remained there for the whole show, even while the audience was leaving. And I was playing it up, so I would like wriggle to try to get, as if I was trying to get out, but I really didn't want to get out because this is the fun of being caught up here. Just begging for people to come and help me at the end of the show. Some people finally did come and undo some of the tape for me, but that was the performance art. That was the piece for that. So that's what I like. That's my stage persona. What's the opportunity here? I could be crazy and wacky, and I'm not really like that in real life. I remember you saying in one episode that a lot of improvisers, a lot of performers are introverts, and I am as well. But I get worked up. Like, I don't seem an introvert even in this interview because I'm getting worked up about the excitement of it. But I really am. When I'm not on stage, I'll probably isolate more than be with people.
Yeah.
That's what I heard a study. I think it was like a Stanford study that talks about that. You can tell an introvert from an extrovert by how they recharge.
Yeah.
At the end of the day or the end of the week. And for me, it's like, I'll go home, I'll sit down, I might have a drink or take a nap or read a book or watch a movie. I'm fine to be by myself, and I'm not looking to make a scene. But I am on stage. That's so very strange. It's like I'm ready to make a scene on stage, but not when I'm recharging. An extrovert, I got to go out on Friday night and be with my mates at the bar and recharge that way. I got to dance. I want to dance all night. That's how I recharge. So that's the extrovert. So I'm really an introvert. But in performing for people, because that's what I like doing, I have to be extroverted.
Yeah.
In training people, I have to be extroverted. In working with people, in doing the corporate workshops and presenting, I'm called upon to step up and be of some level of energy. So I have to work against my true nature to be able to do that. But I also like it. I love people. I love to be around people, and I love to interact with people. That's very good.
You're also one of the highest energy performers that I've encountered. So are you completely exhausted by the end?
We used to do 3 shows a night, 7:30, 9:30, and 11:30. We would do shows. And I would have enough energy through all the shows. There's something about the body that kicks in, and I would have, I was a younger man then. I don't think I could do 3 shows now. I could probably make my way through 3 shows, but I would have to sleep for 2 days after. I do get tired after even a workshop because I expend a lot of energy. I'm ready for some downtime after show. But our bodies are amazing things. If I need to get 2 or 3 shows out of it or a day out of it, my body can do it. Eventually, I'll need to recoup that. I'll need to rest that out.
Yeah. Dave, what inspires you on stage?
What inspires me? I don't know if it inspires me, but I love when there's a connection with the audience. I love when I bring an audience member up and they get it to play with me. That just really inspires me. I'm going to give you some rope, and you're welcome to tug on the rope and even put me in jeopardy emotionally or sometimes even physically. I don't want to get hurt, but I'm open to you doing that. And I'm really inspired when people get that and play along. It's like, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's have a run. Let's have some time. So I'm inspired by that. I'm very inspired when I see just improv abilities and capabilities that are like, wow, that is so good. That's just, I love it. So I get real inspired by that to try to emulate that and also to celebrate and just enjoy that. It's like, you got it. Yeah, go. I love it. I'm loving this.
Yeah. What shuts you down or takes you out of it on stage?
Injury will take me out of it. And, it's like, we can't go on anymore. I think I got to step off on this. But I've grown to a place where it takes a lot to take me out. I do get dismayed and frustrated when there are partners that aren't saying yes. They're not saying yes to it. I have little patience for it. But if I'm in a scene like that, the audience is still there and they deserve something. So I got to just hang in there and be in there. I can't abandon the scene or the other person. But remember, I say never. I did a Renaissance Festival show once. We're doing our participation show on a stage. And boy, the warm-up didn't get them. I didn't get them in the warm-up. And they're just not having it. It's an early morning show, not a very big crowd. And they're just not having it. And it's like, all right, thank you, everybody. That's our show. 10 minutes into the show, I start taking the props and put them in the cart. My two fellow performers are looking at me going, Dave, is this a gag? Dave, nice gag. I pack up the cart. I take the cart, roll it off the stage. And usually we have people kind of help lift it down. No, I just rolled it all off the stage and up the center aisle. Okay, we got another show at 11:30. You guys are welcome to come back for that. We'd love to see you, but this one's done. And the other two performers are sitting on the stage going, okay, he's taken this performance art to the hilt. He's leaving. So sometimes it's like, I've been known to, I give up. That's it. I'm done with it for now. But I have a high threshold of discomfort before I'll do that. Just try to make it work. Is there anything I can do to turn this around? And that's where I start. Is there anything I can do? Not expecting it of my partners, no matter what's going on with them. Is there anything I can do to help turn this around? Again, that helps me get me through it. Hey, if you can do that, yay, get a personal victory.
So you're in a scene, it's going well. And as you're turning or you look out into the audience, you lock eyes with Fran the Puppet Man. You're not going to lose it.
I won't lose it. I'll find a way to work around that. I'll make a moment of that. Fran, he will inspire me to use him. And look who's out here. Come on up here, my good friend, Fran the Puppet Man. So, yes. And there are things that cut me off. So I'm not saying that never happens to me, but I have a high tolerance.
And you may have answered this in a roundabout way already, but in your estimation, what makes a good scene partner?
A good scene partner is one that's open and wants to run, wants to play, and is patient to let it start and build and then find something. And even if there's a wrinkle, they still stay with it. We can iron this out. We can find our way. I really like a fellow performer who's in it for the fun of the adventure with me. Sink or swim. If it's going to go, if it gets hard, let's stay in it. I'm a fan of that. If it's getting hard, why don't we just go down in flames in a big way? At least people aren't like cringing in their seats watching it die. They're like, oh my God, those guys, they just totally went for it. And they turned it around somehow. At least they got something out of it.
Yeah.
I like that in a fellow improviser. Somebody who's ready, patient, and willing to play along. If you're able to say yes, if you're open to the ideas that come, and then if you say yes to many or most of those ideas, and then if you do your part, and that is, I call it attending, to attend the situation. That means now you got to make an offer. It's your turn. You put something in that I'm going to say yes to and embrace, and then we're doing that back and forth. That's my favorite kind of improviser to be on the stage with, and that translates to relationships as well. That's my favorite kind of relationship with someone.
Yeah.
Someone who's open to a relationship, willing to go along and playing in on the relationship and not having it be one-sided. That's going to make for a good, long-lasting, and fulfilling relationship.
Yeah. Do you have any advice that you would give to your younger self, to law school Dave?
To law school, Dave?
Or just your younger self. It doesn't have to be law school.
Don't go there. Yeah, go right to SAC. Do skip law school. I would say advice to my younger self. Maybe even listen more. Pay attention more. I get caught up in my own doings that sometimes I end up, the downside of that sometimes is I'm not listening fully. I'm not fully present. I've had to get better at that. I've had to train myself in life to do that more. So my younger self wouldn't do that. Just so excited that you're not paying the attention that you should.
Yeah. What is your favorite type of character to play?
I love the characters who are getting slapped around. I love playing that, taking it on the chin. I do like that kind of character.
Was that true when you were starting Pain and Agony? Does that stem from Pain and Agony or? There's
a little bit in there. You know, it's like in fisticuffs, you're playing the upper hand, but I love that moment where the other person gets you and you're like, oh, yeah, that's true. You got me there. The embarrassedness. I love playing that role or that moment of being embarrassed or being caught wrong or dismayed. Or like, I am just out of my league here. I like playing that character. I do enjoy a lot of the facial expressions that can come along with that.
Yeah. If you could do a scene with anyone alive, who would it be?
Anyone alive? Wow. If it's not too corny, I want to do a scene with everybody. I mean, there's tons of people alive and doing it. And it's like any walk, I'd love to do a scene with that person. I see people on TV. I'd love to work with that person. I'd love to do it. There's probably only a handful of people, maybe 10, that I wouldn't want to work with or do a scene with. But as far as improvisers, I mean, I love improvisers. I want to do a scene with every improviser. I'd love to. I've never actually done a scene work with Dave Rosowski, people who are really well known and respected in the field. I'd like to see what it's like. What's it like to be in an interaction with him? I'm a teacher. He's a teacher. Is it going to be like, oh man, what you teach sucks? Am I going to get that from my partner? Because I can tell, like with Dave Rosowski's stuff, some of it goes opposite of what I teach, but it's all still the same. I prefer a more yes, Andy approach most of the time. And I say all the time, especially in workshop, I say all the time because I'm trying to break that habit of hardly ever the time. So we're taking that out of our vocabulary so that we can do more things. But he says his new book, Yes and is a thing of the past, and throw yes and out the window. It's like, okay. I'm not going to say you're wrong because you've been teaching and coaching people for a long time. But from my experience, that feels dangerous for me to give people that permission because they already don't like to do it. It's a push to the system to be able to be more open. So, and I say, if you're building things, that's okay. But I just see so many times where people are doing it and they're not building anything. So to me, the remedy is, well, don't do that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that and do it later. Do it when you're knee deeper into the shit, It's like, but get yourself in some shit and you got to build it up before you start breaking it all down.
Yeah. You two are also very stylistically different. I think that would be a very interesting show to see, you and Rosowski.
Well, Rosowski is one of those ones that just, I always find them so incredibly and wonderfully and beautifully clever with words and ideas. And mostly I feel like I'm not really a match for that. I'm more of a physical player, getting in and physicalizing with my body, getting my body in trouble as well. And I'm okay with some of that stuff. Plus, people who have the musical chops, Wayne Brady and the like, it's like, oh man, I'll do a musical scene because that's part of the thrill of we throw you anything and you find your way, make your way in it. Okay, sing a song. Okay. Now, there are some people who, like, they might feel like they have no voice, but you got to take classes to at least learn to get a song out. You don't have to belt a song or be a great singer. There are people who do that, but you got to make your way. If you're called to sing a song as an improviser, you got to go.
Yeah.
You can't put it away. Maybe one time, because never say never. Do that. Totally shun the offer. Do that every once in a while, but not as a matter of course. People who can sing and improvise, love it. Just amazed at the crafting on various levels. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. If you could do a scene with anyone deceased, who would it be?
Jesus Christ. Again, same thing goes. I mean, I'd love to do a scene with Robin Williams. Could I even last a minute in a scene with Robin Williams? Just so many people. Keith Johnstone. It's like, what are you like as an improviser? What do you do? And I really never had a chance to do much with Greg Yates, but I love his persona and his personality. I wish I would have been more in his range of generation, that I could do some more stuff like that. I feel like he has some of that same stuff that I talk about. Just go. Just be free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And go. Get yourself in a mess. It's okay. You'll find a way out. You got it. So I like that as well. There's one definitely. I wish I would have had more experience playing with Greg.
Yeah. I will say, Dave, that I think there's a large portion of the population that would have considered Jesus among the living. But
yes, he lives in my heart. I do. I just want some heartfelt improv with Jesus. I wonder how Jesus would be with the yes and mindset. I have a feeling he would be very accepting. So I mix between freeform, freedom, and analysis. I love precision and I love analysis, but I also like the free flow and free form. I'm not going to overthink something. I'm just going to get in there and make something happen with it. But I like to analyze sometimes before and after. I like to, if I see something happening on stage, I like crafting a little something so that it'll work and hit at the right time, at the right timing and right energy. I'm all for that. I love like drum and bugle corps, drum corps.
Yeah.
I love the precision of drum corps. It's so fascinating and beautiful to me, and I love that. But I also like a jazz set where it's a free-form jazz stuff. I have appetite for both. I think there's a place for both. I love to experience and do both.
Yeah. If you could do a scene with anyone fictional, who would it be?
Anyone fictional? Wow, interesting. If anyone fictional, Jesus Christ, once again, that's for the atheists who are listening. But I'd like to cover all my bases. Let's see, if I could would Scooby-Doo be a good scene partner? He seems very open and playful.
Yeah, so long as there were no ghosts involved, I think he'd be fine.
Well, that could be fun. We get him in between the ghosts. Gosh, it's like, who wouldn't you? Jim Rockford from the Rockford Files. I've just random people in my memory here, but I don't. Do you have the list?
I don't have the list. It's
Oh, okay. Because I would just pick someone from the list if it's all right with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I didn't do so well on that.
What do you find most helpful from the booth?
At SAC, we have TV screens for announcements and stuff. And so I love it. I don't know if I find it helpful, but very cool when they find a piece of music that they'll play. It's not even just in the scenes, but a reference is made. And so they'll play that after the scene.
Yeah.
I find that really fun and helpful and plays in with the whole feel of the thing. And then also maybe a visual that goes up on the screen as well. I love that. That's great. I love when the sound person is with you and both the musician as well. Sometimes I feel like there's a little over eagerness to do it. And so that's why wait for it. Wait until we do scene from the booth, or sound effects from the booth. Then you can throw it all at me. But we're not doing that all the time. So don't be over eager. But I love it when, if you have the capability for lights or sound, that you can get some enhancement on your stage in those manners. I love that. There are scenes like, what's it called, like narrative collage or something like that, where if you've got it, you set up 3 different areas of light. And so I like it, and I'm open to, you can play in on this light person as the caller as well. And so many scenes have the caller. This is the method or the mechanism by which we switch and do something else, either opposite or in connection to, or just to switch focus or something like that. And so that's one where it's like, I love it when they got the same kind of timing the players do. Great time to switch it. I only got one word out and you move the light. I'm not like, what the fuck? You didn't. Oh, sorry. I don't know how your language is. You didn't let me finish. I had a whole idea there. It's like, go with it. I'll get it next time. But that's great. That got a good reaction.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't get a good reaction, it's like, you're okay. I appreciate the readiness there. You're playing in, playing on. I'm with you, so long as it doesn't become overbearing. I couldn't get a word out edgewise. That did become a little frustrating. So.
Yeah. We were really spoiled. The performers at SAC are spoiled in having the support from the musician and the tech.
Yes.
For sure. It brings so much to the table.
Yes, I agree, and I love it.
What do you find least helpful from the booth?
I think I just spoke to it. Like too many offers, too many things. Sometimes it's tough for me, even when there's too much. I don't even mind the booth talking. They got a microphone back there and some interaction with the booth, because I like it. It opens up for the people. Hey, there's somebody back there, and they're part of the show, and we just interacted with them. You just saw that. That never happens. But again, anything that's overwrought or getting too much, like, okay, we're changing the focus now to the booth in the back of the room, and that's not good. The focus needs to be where the lights and the people are. More so. So I don't mind taking a quick little journey there, but let's bring it back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dave, other than laughter, what audience sound do you revel in?
I love the gasp. I love Lasper and the gasp. And then this is a gasp adjacent when they see something magical happen improvisationally. Something twists around, something just works just right. Somebody's able to do something that you did not expect, that kind of like, yeah. And so usually the celebratory sound on that is laughter. They're giving, it's like, well done. That's great. So that's probably it for me.
Yeah. And I think, it's a little unfair, that question, because sometimes it's just, you can feel the energy shift and it's not a sound per se, but you can feel it.
Yes. Yep.
You may have also already answered this, but if there's another one, or maybe it's the one you already mentioned, but what's the worst venue you've played in?
The worst venue that I've played in is the Outdoor Music Festival stage in Pensacola.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. That was very tough. So outdoor stages, when there's not enough microphone, they're very tough. I don't like playing in large cavernous rooms where the audience is separated from you. Like a lot of times where corporate shows, they've got a dance floor right in front of the stage. Like, that's tough. I do not like that venue, Sam I Am.
Yeah.
But again, I'll try to make anything work. But if the audience is too far spread out from each other, very hard for me. It's just a psychological and, I was going to say chemical, but an energy thing. When people are closer together, the energy between resonates a little better at a different frequency, in my non-scientific opinion, that you get more out of it. When you spread that apart and that you don't have those reverberant connections, there's nothing spoken or chemical even or anything. It's like, it's just kind of energy and waveforms. The more you spread that out, the harder it is, in my opinion, to connect. And the closer you get that in, the better. You can also get too close, and then it's just too tight. I don't have the freedom to breathe at all. So the opposite can happen as well, but especially when they're too spread out. I don't like a venue where there's a bar in the back.
Yeah.
I don't like a venue where they're eating. We'll generally say with our corporate shows, no, we're not going to perform during dinner or any clearing that goes on, because that's just too distractive. If there's room for them to roam and the bar is open and they can go to the back of the room, there's going to be conversations that happen back there that are going to destroy the focus of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. This is, I guess, add-on. This isn't actually part of my list, but considering
Uh-huh.
your history,
Yeah.
because I agree with you, especially outdoor venues, no amplification, those can be death.
Yeah.
But then I'm reminded of what you were talking about in terms of doing both Epcot and then also the Ren fairs, which would be outdoors and no amplification.
Yeah.
What do you think the difference is there that allows those to work, and now normally when we're on a stage outside with
Yeah.
no amplification, that just doesn't?
Yeah. So there is a sense you got to use your outside voice when you're outside, but the same rules apply. If we can pull the audience in and get them pretty tight, the tighter the audience, the better the show is going to be. The more loose the audience, that is also, the audience can also be more transient. So if you, in essence, pack them in, then it's harder for them to tune out or to turn out, turn away, and to leave. So in festivals like in Edmonton was an experience. We do at Epcot, we do maybe 100 or 200 people shows, which was very fun when we get it. And we could do a show for 25, but when you're getting 200 people, they're sitting in the front and they're standing in the back and kind of moved up, everybody. And we asked them at festivals, like, everybody, please move forward so we don't lose our voice. Because we know that if we just let them stay way out there, not only are we going to lose our voice, but bringing them in is that energy wavelength benefit to the show. So that's what we would do for that. But in Edmonton, SAC got very popular there at the Edmonton Fringe Festival. SAC would do their outdoor shows. And they'd been going on for 3 or 4 years. And then I got to be a part of that troupe one year. And we come out, and there's an audience waiting for you of 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 people spread out over the entire park. There's no way I'm going to reach them with my outside voice, but they're still loving it. They're still getting into it because they're so compact and they're so all around. You can fit a lot of people in there. And when you get that kind of energy going, oh man, it's a wonderful high. It's a wonderful euphoric feeling of joy.
What is the best note or the best words of wisdom that you've received?
That I've received, the best words of wisdom. I've always liked play with abandon. I like that. And then I also like, and I repeat this a lot, and I like even in the way it said, don't be afraid to get yourself in the shit. And then when you're in the shit, don't just try to get out of the shit right away.
Yeah.
Make the shit deeper. Make it shittier. Build that up a little. Don't be afraid to do that. You're going to get out. You'll get out eventually. But so many people, at the hint of something going awry or haywire, they want to fix it right away. It's like, don't fix it right away. Let's have some fun getting deeper in this. That's what happens in movies and books. It's like, and that's why we gravitate to those. That's why we love those so much. We don't want to see the protagonist just challenge, fixed it, challenge, fixed it, challenge, fixed it. It's like boring. Yeah. Challenge, oh, deeper. Oh, I didn't see that coming. Oh, new challenge. Oh, surprise challenge. Oh, look, I thought you were friend. Now you're foe. Lots of those twists and turns. It gets more grave. It gets graver and more impactful. So that was good. Don't be afraid to get in the shit.
Yeah. On the other side of that coin, what is the worst note or the worst advice you've either received or can conceive of?
The worst advice is, and I have to couch this because the worst advice is you don't have to say yes. And it's like, I don't think that's right. I think you don't have to say yes all the time, but I think you'll do so much better if you say yes more than I see people saying yes. So, and I'm also, you don't have to say yes all the time, but also you don't have to say yes. It's like you don't ever have to say yes. Only a few improvisers can get away with that because they're still taking in or taking on in another way. They're still moving things forward. So that's what I think that's where I would push back a little bit. I think syntactically we can say you don't have to say yes. And I agree. But I think that you do have to accept and take on some things in a way, even if you're not saying the word yes, you're still taking some things and taking them on so that you're not always the winner and the one in charge and the one kind of showcasing things. So that's another pet peeve of mine is the director in a scene. One person telling the other person what to do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, there's some yes and they're saying yes to everything you're saying, but it's very one-sided. And I don't like to see that. I like to see both people co-creating together to find the magic of the journey.
Yeah, it's not really ping pong if it's just one person and a wall.
Right, it's ping.
Yeah.
or pong. Yeah. Even pong, had back you're playing against something that's coming back at you, but there's no ping. There's no ping in baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If there were an Academy Awards for everything improv, what would you be nominated for?
An Academy Award. Let's see. It could be most long-winded review of someone's performance. It could be most ready to put your body out there. That'd be a good one, just to get into it. And the Academy Award for finding the most joy. I think I could compete for that.
Yeah. So not the most exuberant It's Tuesday.
That's right. That's right. I don't think I'd win the Academy Award for that. What's the Rotten Tomatoes? That's what I'd win on that one, and not in a good way. Even Rotten Tomatoes, if you get 100%, that means everybody together was in for you. You were so bad it was good. It's like, nope, I wasn't like that.
If you are remembered 100 years from now for something improv related, what would you want it to be?
I would want it to be Dave lived what he promoted, to be joyful and to have a yes and mindset. Dave was a great example of the yes and mindset. He would say yes to so much and explore and get the joy out of saying yes to so many things, trying them out, going along with them, and assisting other people in having an adventure by joining along with them.
Excellent.
That's not really something you could write on a headstone. Maybe a little longer than that. So maybe just It's Tuesday. That could be on my headstone.
It's going to be remembered. Yeah.
Yes.
It wouldn't exist now, except Dave put it in a book.
Yes.
That's it for this interview with Dave Russell. To see him play, you may have to make a special request at SAC Comedy Lab, and you should. It's a bit of a crime that he doesn't play more. So go to SAC if you're near Orlando. Who knows? You may get lucky and Dave will be playing, and you'll be in for a great show either way. Thanks for listening to Improv Autopsy.